Was there a moment for you, a play, where you felt like, I'm back?
Yeah, I think it happened in training camp. I had like a inside zone play, and I kind of bounced it, and I did like a little dead leg move. I was like, oh, I can still do it. Like, I'm good now. I feel good. And then just seeing CeeDee and GP every day at practice making plays, I'm like, I still got it too. I can do the same thing they doing.
Welcome to the Schultz Report, presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. I'm your host, NFL insider Jordan Schultz. We have reached a pivotal point in the NFL schedule where the next 5 games are the last 5 games, and there is still a ton at stake across the league. In today's show, I'll be giving my take on several clubs on the upswing at the right time. Keyshawn Johnson will be tapping in to sound off on why he blames the OC in Philly and not Jalen Hurts. Not to mention, we'll be joined by Javonte Williams, Dallas Cowboys star running back. He will tap in. He's having a monster year. Wow. Let's go. Hey all, through my partnership with Fanatics Sportsbook, you have heard me talk about Fan Cash. Fan Cash is the ultimate sports currency. From bets to tickets to memorabilia and one-of-a-kind experiences, Fan Cash unlocks the world of Fanatics. And now, every week, I'm working with my partners at Fanatics Sportsbooks to give you $50 in Fan Cash to 4 lucky followers. Look out for the post on my X every Saturday or Sunday morning for your chance to win Fan Cash to use on jerseys, bonus bets, and more. Fanatics Sportsbook, winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, 800-327-5050. New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Let's kick off the show with the team that people still aren't talking about enough. The 9-3 NFC North leading Chicago Bears. Now, this Bears team reminds me in many ways of last year's iteration of the Washington Commanders with Jaden Daniels, a rookie quarterback, Dan Quinn, a first-year head coach. Obviously, this is year 2 for Caleb, but similar. And then you really have the X factor of all X factors, Ben Johnson. There was a reason, many reasons, why he was thought to be the number 1 draft pick alongside Mike Vrabel in the head coach rankings, if you will, heading into last offseason. And what Ben Johnson has done with Caleb Williams is simply sensational. The front office, too, really nice job drafting. If you think about some of the moves they've made, whether it's been Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, the secondary, and equally importantly, upgrading the pass rush a couple years ago when they traded with Washington for Montez Sweat. These are all moves that have been made to build a new culture and also to give you a new hope in Chicago, a new hope that you haven't had really since Rex Grossman took you to a Super Bowl nearly 2 decades ago. So a lot of credit to the front office. I think Ben Johnson, though, again, we see one version of Ben Johnson, his shirt off, he's celebrating. That's not the only version of Ben Johnson. There, behind all of that, there is a secret genius, if you will, a blueprint to success on how to build a foundation of winning with a quarterback in Caleb Williams, who last year as a rookie, we didn't see that. So I'm very excited for Chicago, but I think they have a long runway as well, not just this season. Speaking of teams that have exceeded expectations, how about the Jacksonville Jaguars? Want to give them a big shout out. It is very hard in the NFL to go from the cellar to the top of a division. And Jacksonville has really done just that. They're 8-4. They have a 3-game winning streak. And most importantly, they have now the runway for success moving forward in the foreseeable future. They have the quarterback they believe in, and Trevor Lawrence. It hasn't been perfect, but he's been better. Why? First-year head coach Liam Cohen, as well as a first-year GM and James Gladstone. They have figured out the magic potion, if you will, with Trevor Lawrence. And the most important part to me is that they've done it without Travis Hunter, who hasn't been fully healthy and is obviously out for the season. And they're still trying to figure out, and they will figure out, the Brian Thomas Jr. element. I think Travis Etienne has been a revelation, the young running back they protected. There's a lot of similarities this season offensively with the Jags that we saw last season with the Bucs and Baker Mayfield, and obviously Liam Cohen as the OC. So Jacksonville, in addition to Chicago, long runway for success. Joe Burrow made his triumphant return to the Bengals, leading the team to a huge win against the Ravens on Thanksgiving prime time. And if you think about Cincinnati, where they were, where they are now at 4-8, and maybe potentially where they could be going, this was one of the reasons why the Bengals didn't want to give up at the trade deadline and mortgage this season, trade away a Trey Hendrickson. And also, if you think about Joe Burrow, he said something that was very poignant to me last week.
You look at it from my perspective. I'm a football player, and if I get hurt, I'm going to go through the rehab process, and then I'm going to let everybody know when I feel like I can go out there and play. I'm not going to live my life and play this game scared of something happening. Like, yeah, something's going to happen. It's football.
That was really in regard to the question of, is it worth you coming back now to salvage a season that may already be out the window? I'm not saying the Bengals are going to win the AFC North, but they have a real shot, and that's a lot more than we would have said a couple weeks ago without Joe Burrow under center. The other part about having Burrow back in the fold, and I can't overstate this enough, is the galvanizing impact he can have on a locker room, on a franchise, on a city. So if you're Jamar Chase, if you're T. Higgins, bona fide superstars, if you're Chase Brown, a really good emerging running back, you now know definitively you have one of the best in the business back under center, and you are still in the playoff hunt. It's not as if the season's over. It's not as if they don't have a chance. They know they need to win out. They know there's no real margin for error. But just psychologically, having a Burrow back is massive. I want to highlight the New York Jets and first-year head coach Aaron Glenn. It's not just the fact they've won 3 of 5. It's the fact that they're fighting in ways many teams not in the playoff mix would not be able to do. In other words, they're down 24-17 against Atlanta midway through the fourth quarter. They fight back and win that game. That, to me, is a team that believes in the head coach. And then, big picture-wise, you can start to build on that foundation. There's a blueprint for winning in this league. And it's not always about the most yards, time of possession. It's how do we come together when things aren't going well, which invariably they will in what's the most week-to-week league in all of pro sports, the NFL. So the fact that you're seeing now a Jets team that recently just traded away 3 of its best players and is still finding ways to be competitive and win games is massive to me. And it's not lost on me as well, the effect that an Aaron Glenn can have on this franchise. And, you know, we talked a lot about Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel in the coaching cycle of 2025, last year. Aaron Glenn was also very highly regarded, and the Jets targeted him very early as this could be the culture setter that we haven't had. All due respect to everyone else who came prior. This is the difference. This is a game changer. So when I think about Aaron Glenn and what he can bring to this franchise, you're seeing it now. There's something to be said about learning how to win in the National Football League, not only as a player, but as a head coach. And let's not forget, this is Aaron Glenn's first crack at this. He was a really successful DC in Detroit, but he never was in the big chair. Now that he is, I think you're seeing him learning from previous mistakes. The first half of the season, they let a few get away. They've now won 3 of 5. You're seeing them close games, come back in games. You're not seeing the same mistakes, too. I think you're seeing a really good special teams unit. You're seeing a team that is fighting. We said just a few weeks ago that out of the 2-win teams at the time, I believe it was, the Jets, to me, were the most interesting and had the brightest upside. This is a key reason why. Because you think about it, they're going to be armed now, the Jets will be, with 8 picks in the first 2 rounds in the next 2 upcoming drafts. So that's premium draft capital, and they could still make a move or 2 to get a marquee player. And how cool was it, too, to see Adonai Mitchell, who was benched in Indianapolis. He was a part of the Sauce Gardner trade. He comes to the Jets, and in his second game has his first career touchdown under Aaron Glenn. That moment was amazing, and these are the types of winning habits that are going to become a domino effect and a force multiplier for the Jets moving forward, not only this season, but in the future. I'd be remiss if I did not mention the 7-6 Carolina Panthers, who are on the verge of their first playoff berth potentially in nearly a decade. Go back to 2017 with Cam Newton. So a lot of progress has been made. And Keyshawn Johnson and I are going to tap into this later because he has some interesting thoughts on Carolina. I'm more bullish on them than maybe anybody, though, because if you think about the new regime, a first-year GM, a second-year head coach, this is the type of success that I think even Panthers fans weren't necessarily expecting this early on. Bryce Young hasn't been perfect, but he's played really well, and he's improved on the second half improvements he made last year. So Bryce Young playing great, the running game awesome, and a lot of the moves that this front office has made, even under the radar ones, whether it's a Turk Wharton, Rico Dowdle, these moves, Tetairoa McMillan, drafting him in the top 10, these are all contributing to a playoff team. And they have two of the best wins in the league, Green Bay and the Rams. Very impressed with Carolina, and I think there's a long runway for success as a result. And lastly, the NFC South leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Tampa, even though the last few weeks have been a little Jekyll and Hyde, I still think Tampa deserves a lot of credit, especially offensively. First-year OC, Josh Grizzard, has done a masterful job replacing Liam Cohen. And he's done it with significant injuries to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving, Jalen McMillan, even Baker Mayfield recently. Tampa Bay has been really impressive to me, and I don't know if they're getting quite enough respect. I think about the Bucs, the Jets, the Jags, the Panthers, the Bears. There's a through line here. Really good front offices and really good young head coaches. It's very hard to acquire both, let alone one. But if you can, that's the winning DNA formula, the blueprint for success in the NFL today. And now let's bring on a man who can not only beat a DB on the field, but can also beat Bobby Flay in the kitchen, Mr. Keyshawn Johnson. Key, how was your Thanksgiving, and did you end up cooking the salmon?
First of all, my Thanksgiving was good, and I wind up not cooking the salmon. I wind up picking up halibut, and in replace of that, I did the whitefish because the salmon was a year ago.
You wanted to start fresh with a new year. Very well done. You know who needs to start fresh is the Eagles. Are you concerned?
I am a little concerned. Given the fact that this offense looks nothing like the offense a year ago under Kellen Moore. As you know, and many people know that follow the NFL, the offensive coordinator obviously hasn't done a good enough job, so to speak, in terms of getting the football into AJ Brown's hands, allowing Jalen Hurts to run the football. And I know many people are looking at Jalen Hurts, but the fan base in the Eagles are looking at the offensive coordinator. Therefore, they egged this house, which they probably shouldn't have done.
Only in Philadelphia.
Saturday morning. I wish I was his son and I saw one of those SOBs egging my house. But they've got to do a much better job offensively of identifying what the defense is bringing them, and they haven't done that at all. It's mind-boggling, but it is concerning because the Dallas Cowboys are emerging now. They are a different team than they were 5 weeks ago. They're a much different football team. You could see it, and it'd be a shame if they were to lose this grip on first place in the Eastern Division and give way to the Dallas Cowboys, which could happen, by the way.
Yeah, I don't understand why, if you have Pickens and Lamb and you have Dak, why can't Philadelphia with Brown, Smith, and Hurts have anywhere near the level of success? Is that directly tied to the coordinator or more so than the coordinator than to Jalen Hurts?
I believe it's the coordinator. Many people want to put it on Jalen Hurts, but I believe it's the coordinator, Petula, right?
Yeah, Kevin Patullo. He's a first-year OC.
And so when you look at it, though, Jordan, first-year guy calling plays. 2 years ago, if you go back 2 seasons ago, Brian Johnson, first-year calling plays. Guess what? Jalen Hurts didn't have a great year, and neither did the offense. Kellen Moore, who was an offensive coordinator with the Chargers, the Dallas Cowboys, played the quarterback position, had a cup of coffee in the National Football League, was one of the better guys in his era in college football at the quarterback position. Jalen Hurts had MVP type season. It's just you can tell it's the offensive coordinator. It's not Jalen Hurts. As bad as he played the other night in ball selling overheads and things of that nature, that doesn't change at all. It's been the same, except they're not writing. I mean, they're not calling the plays and putting him in the best position and his skill position players in the best positions to succeed. I mean, I can see it with my eyes. I don't need to have some computer analytics. I can see it with my damn eyes that they're not in the right positions to make the plays and they're not calling aggressive things so that he can be the quarterback that he's capable of being.
In the first month of the season, right after the Parsons trade, you were pretty bullish on Dallas. It took them a minute offensively to get here. But now that they have, and the addition of Quinnen Williams, who's been fantastic, what's the pathway for Dallas to potentially win this division and make a playoff push? Like what do they need to do?
Just keep winning. Dak.
I know that.
Dak. I mean, no,
yeah,
Jordan, just keep winning. Don't get caught up. You got a game this Thursday against Detroit.
That's a monster game.
It could very well come down at the end of the season to this victory or loss on whether or not you even make the playoffs. So I'm not going to give you a coaching cliche, but I am going to give you one game at a time. Don't get caught up in mathematics. Oh, well, we need to win the next 3 out of 5, and no, one game at a time. And check that box. And if you can check that box, you move on to the next one. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. No mistakes. Pickens, calm down. Don't get any 15-yard unnecessary penalties that cost your team. Unsportsmanlike, things of that nature. CeeDee Lamb, catch the football. Defense, don't allow people to rush the ball down your throat. Don't allow balls to go over your head. That's all. It's a simple recipe. It's not reinventing the wheel. And I think if they do that, they're on to something. Wilson, Kenny Clark, and Malik Hooker coming back, and you got Quinnen Williams. You got some guys on the defense that's showing they can be solid and sound.
Here's my concern when you go game by game and you put a lot of pressure on each game. What happens when you lose a game? It feels to me
the whole point is not to lose the game.
I know, but
so I don't have
this
to worry
is the
about
NFL.
that.
It's a week-to-week league. It's not realistic.
It's realistic for me not to lose the game. Guess why? If we do everything we're supposed to do, and we take care of business, and we protect the football, and we don't have dumb penalties, and we don't get a ball to the other team in a different color, then we can go week to week. Every week. You just stack them up. 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, and you start stacking them up. And before you look up, you're on a nice little winning streak, and you done caught who's ever in front of you. But when you're trying to catch who's ever in front of you without winning those games first, that's when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar.
You mentioned the Philadelphia fans egging the house of the OC. Does something like that help, or do players talk about that?
The players don't necessarily. I've never had a coach's house egged. I've never been around such a thing.
Yeah, or like hey, let's fire this guy kind of thing.
No, I've been around guys being fired, but if you're asking me,
can it
galvanize?
Can it galvanize?
No, it won't galvanize you. No, because the offensive coordinator is who he is. He's been that way all of a sudden through 14 weeks. He's not going to change. I mean, he's been the same offensive coordinator. A lot of the times, these offensive coordinators that are new, they're conservative. They're a little scared of doing something wrong. And they're also trying to impress so they can get a head coaching job. So they become very cautious in certain situations, which is the wrong temperament to have in the National Football League. It's not time to be cautious. It's time to do what you did last year, and it's not that difficult. It's literally not that difficult. You got the best players in the world on the field. It's not that difficult. Get a ball to your playmakers, call the right damn plays. Saquon Barkley didn't forget how to run.
I'm not a guru in this stuff, but You ask pretty
No,
much
you're not.
anyone, and
Absolutely not.
they'll tell you the offensive line is not as good, and they'll tell you that the play calling is very bland and predictable. And
Yes,
you do
that is
have to
correct.
wonder at some point, does what happened 2 years ago when they fell apart the second half of the season, because the same head coach, does that start, and a lot of the same players, does that start to become like a guy's already talking about that, thinking about that, you know?
Well, I think, Jordan, 2 seasons ago, they were not very good. They fell apart at the end of the season, but they never were the team that they were the year last year when they won the Super Bowl. It was two different teams in style and how they approach things. You could clearly see this year that they're not the same team from a year ago. They're closer to the team from 2 years ago than they were the Super Bowl champions. Do I think that they're going to win the Super Bowl and go on a Super Bowl run? No, I don't. Do I think they make the playoffs? Yes. Do I think they get bounced in the playoffs? Most likely, depending on where they finish in the seeding and who they draw.
What do you think of Carolina? The reason I asked is because that was a team that you really liked before the season. And I've been really impressed with the Panthers. First year GM, second year head coach. It feels to me like they've changed, something really changed there.
Yeah, it's cute, right? It's cute. They beat a couple big teams
They beat two great
and they
teams
won.
on paper.
Yeah, I said a couple. Want me to say? What do you want me to say? Four
Well,
big teams?
I just think they have two really impressive wins, and
Yeah, that is correct. They got a couple good wins, and they seem to fight at home, except that Buffalo game. I think they're still a ways away. Because what happened against the Rams is Matthew Stafford gave them the ball way too many times, and they dug themselves a hole, and they had a chance to win the game in the end still with all the turnovers, the Rams that is, and they just couldn't dig themselves completely out of that hole. I'm not ready to say that the Carolina Panthers have won the Super Bowl, nor are they going to win the division. I'm still believing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are winning the division, and Carolina will have a nice season that they can build some momentum and come back on next year. Now, a decision needs to be made with the quarterback and his future, obviously, about what they want to do with him because I mean he's showing some growth, right? But if you go from the beginning of the season to where we are now, there's a lot of holes in his game that still needs to be uh, accounted for. And do you want to take that risk and say, I think he's our guy for the future, and we're gonna extend him, we're gonna pick up the 5th year options, we're gonna do all of those sort of things, opposed to just kind of letting it play out and seeing where things land next offseason.
I think Bryce Young, I really believe he needs to be the cornerstone future of the Panthers. It doesn't mean they have to pay him now. They could do the 5th year option. They could wait. Green Bay did that with Jordan Love. I just wonder, I guess the question I want to ask is, do you believe, and have you seen enough from Bryce to think he can lead them to, you know, if not a Super Bowl this year, potentially down the road, he's the guy.
You know, I just he's done a good job. He's done a good job. I'm not ready to make him my franchise quarterback, cornerstone guy. Not in the least bit. Um, but he's done a good job this year. At times, I have major reserves. I just do. I've seen too many times in his NFL career where his height, weight, size, and speed doesn't affect the game. And I've seen guys like Josh Allen, height, weight, size, and speed affect the game. And that's what I look for in a quarterback. Can you affect the game? Yeah, he beat Atlanta and threw for 500 yards. It's freaking Atlanta. You and I could have done that, as far as I'm concerned. You know, yeah, they beat the Rams. Matthew Stafford spotted them 14 points.
Do you think that the Ravens, speaking of quarterbacks that we need more of, we got to see Lamar. Are you concerned about him and that team?
I'm concerned about the team, not so much for him. They just don't look right. Something's not right about their approach.
Not as explosive,
Sometimes what you've done in the past you do way too many times over and over and over and over again, it gets stale. The message is stale. And I think that they've got to fix that if they plan on coming out of their division. They're going to have to fix it and fix it fast.
I see Cincinnati as a threat, and I know it sounds foolish at 4-8, but they beat Baltimore, and now they have the quarterback in the mix. It's possible. It really is possible that they get hot and they make a run.
No, it's possible. Will they? I don't know. I've got to look at their schedule. Joe certainly came in and whatever he put together and they put together offensively, they won the game. And, you could attribute some of that to him being back on the field with them and giving them the jolt of energy that they needed. But can they keep that up on a long stretch to close this thing out and sneak into the playoffs, even though they've already beaten Baltimore, but they're behind the sticks?
The Lane Kiffin hiring, it wasn't a surprise that he went to LSU. I don't think anyone was surprised by that. But the manner in which he did, given that you obviously know Lane from his SC days, what did you make of it?
LSU is a better program all the way around. Better campus, better recruiting base, just all the way around. I don't mind him leaving for a better situation where he feels he can win a national title at. I'm more so disappointed in Ole Miss not allowing him to do something that he wanted to do, which was finish the deal.
Okay, so you think they should have let him coach it out in the playoff?
Why in the hell wouldn't you?
Well, the argument against
do you really honestly think that you're LSU? Like, stop. Nobody's taking an Ole Miss job over an LSU job. It's not going to freaking happen. No matter how much money. You could have given him the same exact money. He's not staying in Oxford, Mississippi when he can be in Baton Rouge and recruit in Baton Rouge, recruit the back end of Houston, Texas, take a little bit of Florida, and win some national titles. Where I got to convince everybody in the world that play football that Oxford, Mississippi is a great place to live and a great place to grow and play football.
No, but I'm not talking about
I'm not.
that
That's too
job.
much work.
I'm talking about the playoff. Because I haven't heard anyone say they think he should have coached the playoff. You feel
because they don't like Lane. They don't. You got to remember, take yourself out of it for a minute. 10 steps back, though, Jordan. He's a polarizing figure.
Very.
So many people in the sports arena that don't have an opportunity or really don't get to talk to Lane or anything like that, they want to shit on him, okay? And make it seem like, oh, this guy he's a problem everywhere. Okay, let's break his coaching down. He then goes from USC, offensive coordinator, young whippersnapper, goes to the Raiders. Al Davis is whatever. The late Al Davis is a great guy, whole deal. But it didn't work out with Lane because whatever you want to say about Al didn't work. Lane, it didn't work. It didn't work with a lot of coaches with Al. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Well, Al said famously or infamously, he said, it's not the coach I thought I hired, not the person I thought I hired.
Okay. And he also held money back for Mike Shanahan, but that's a whole nother conversation.
All right, anyway, but this isn't about Al Davis. It's about Lane.
No, I'm giving you a timeline. I'm giving you a timeline as to why people don't like Lane and they'll say the things that they're saying about the Ole Miss. Then he takes the Tennessee job. In the middle of the night, he leaves and comes to SC. You and I both know Tennessee is not USC when USC is rolling.
Tennessee's a great job, though. It's a great job.
Tennessee, again, I'll say it one more time. Tennessee job is not USC. It's not LSU. It's not Alabama. Okay? It's just not.
But
it's not Texas.
The manner in which he left.
So you leave, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Coaches leave like that all the time in the middle of the night. I mean, they just do. Tommy Tuberville went out the back door of a restaurant and kept going. I mean, like, come on, seriously. This is what they do. So you look at that, the people in Tennessee were irate. Then he goes and he gets the OC job at Alabama. Him and Nick Saban, whatever words they had, he wanted to do what he wanted to do. He was looking for a coaching job. Nick Saban didn't want him to be distracted. He wasn't distracted. Nick didn't believe that. He said, "You go ahead and you take FAU. I'll figure it out." Okay, he leaves FH. He takes FAU, turns them around, Jordan. Then he goes to Mississippi, which at the time was a doormat. Hugh Freeze got into trouble, whatever, whoever took over, he became a doormat again. Lane got it to where it is today. 11-1, highest ranking in some years. You look at what they're at in terms of the playoff, all of those sort of things. And LSU come a calling. You're going to take the LSU job. It's just the reality of it. And he wanted to coach these kids. But you, as an organization and administration, decided to say no. Lane didn't say no. Lane said, I want to coach him. This is what Lane said. He said, I want to coach him. And they said no to him. He didn't say no to them. So that's really what I got it.
It's hard to tell Lane Kiffin, you know what, we're going to let you coach it out, knowing that he is going to be with those kids and those coaches every day, and he could recruit them. And you still got the portal now, and you have to recruit.
He's going to recruit them anyway.
But you have to recruit guys now.
But he's going. Okay, you hire your staff at LSU. Whoever you're going to hire, they're going to multitask. That's what they're going to do. And now you have certain people that is designated to get the job done as your general manager, recruiting coordinator, all of those type of people in advanced scouting. You are focused on getting and winning the playoffs and getting to the final. I just don't. You'll never be able to sell me that Ole Miss made the right decision by telling him he can't coach. You'll just never be able to sell me on that. It was the dumbest thing that an athletic department could have ever done, because you are butt hurt. You're hurt because he wanted to dance with the next door neighbor. Makes no sense.
Keyshawn, I've been thinking about what kind of question I want to ask you today before I let you go, because I love asking you these. I get a lot of responses from people saying they enjoyed Keyshawn's response on shark diving. Today's question, it's a very simple question. Do you believe we are alone in the universe?
And alone? So you think
Intelligent life. Intelligent life.
I think we're alone. I haven't seen anything that would suggest different.
Very disappointed in that answer. We'll talk off camera.
Why are you? What have you seen?
Keyshawn, it's a big world, a big universe out there, man.
What have you seen? I haven't seen anything walking up to my door that shouldn't have been there.
Nothing going on in Compton, huh?
No, I don't live in Compton. Sorry.
Dorsey is in Compton, no?
No.
Where's Dorsey?
It's not. Dorsey is in
Watts.
No. Shit, no. It's in West Los Angeles.
You told me you're from the hood.
Me growing up in South LA has nothing to do with what school I go to. Compton is not South LA, and neither is Watts.
You might as well be from Manhattan Beach.
Not really. But I like Manhattan Beach.
You like all the bougie stuff now.
In fact, what are you supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
No, it's true. You got to enjoy it. All right, Key, I'm going to get you out of here. Appreciate you, brother. Have a great week, and we'll see you week 15 in the NFL. All right, let's bring on to the show Dallas Cowboys standout running back and a key to the team's success this year. A friend of mine, Javonte Williams. Javonte, absolute pleasure to have you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me. Good to see you.
You too, man. We were just talking off camera. The type of season you're having, week in and week out, how gratifying has it been for you, especially coming off an injury, going to a new team, to show the world just exactly what you can do?
I really feel like it's just a big burden lifted off my shoulders, because I always knew I had the talent to be a good player in the league, but it just wasn't all coming together after I got hurt. So just to finally to be able to have success again and just show everybody, like you said, the type of player I am, and feel real good.
Walk me through the process of deciding on Dallas and why you felt you could have success here.
I mean, it was my first time being a free agent, so it was all new to me. But I mean, I feel like the decision came pretty easy. It happened real quick. I think free agency started at like 3 or 4 or something like that, and I was already signed with the Cowboys after like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it all
Yeah.
went kind of fast. I talked to the running back coach, talked to Shotty, and they both pretty much just said like it's wide open. It's gonna be a competition, and whoever won it or whoever won the job, that's who we're gonna go with.
What's something about Dak that maybe the average fan wouldn't know or maybe surprised you? Just his demeanor, his personality. What something about him that surprised you?
Yeah, just growing up and watching him, I always knew he was a talented player. He could make plays, whether with his legs or throwing the ball. But something that really stood out to me was just how much he know the game and how much he know like certain blitzes and things like that. I know it comes with experience and from watching film, but just his ability to be on the field and like, hey, he finna come watch him, or read my kid, go over here, go this way. Just his ability to slow everything down, even in crunch time situations, like last week versus the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Just his poise and him being in certain situations, I feel like even when it's crunch time or time to go win the game, he still got that calm demeanor.
So he's always the same in the huddle, regardless?
Yeah, I mean, even when it was down 21 to the Eagles, I mean, he's still talking positive. He like, I already been in this spot before. We're going to come back. We're going to win the game. Just keep playing, keep making plays. So I feel like that's something that really stood out to me, just his confidence and his composure.
What's made your connection, Javonte, with Dak so strong and so natural that you're able to have both of you excellent seasons?
I think it's really just a testament to all our hard work and just the camaraderie that we got. I feel like having training camp in California really brought us all together. And then when our teammate passed, I feel like that really brought us together as a team and showed us just how like you can't take nothing for granted, not even the next play, the next second. So I mean, just things like that that happened throughout the season. I feel like it really brought everybody together.
The workload for you has continued to grow. Was that ever a conversation of both of you, or did they just tell you we're gonna give you more and more touches?
It was never a conversation. All my running back coach told me was just let me know when you get tired, I'll take you off. So I was like, all right, let's
So
do
you
it.
basically never.
Yeah, I hope so.
I love that, bro. I
Yeah.
love that so much. So he said to you, when you need one, just let me know. And basically the idea is to not need one, or very seldom you're going to need a break.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So you've always been known for being a really physical running back and downhill. But I think what happens sometimes with physical runners, and I've talked about this a lot with Derrick Henry too, your speed gets overlooked, but you've been able to showcase that a lot this season as well. Was that a big emphasis for you in terms of coming back from the injury and reestablishing yourself, not just as a power back, but showcasing your speed?
Yeah, definitely. Because the first few months that I started back playing, I still didn't really have all the bend that my left knee had. My right knee wasn't like all the way bending the same way. So that was something that was kind of like a hurdle that I had to get over, just making sure I got all my range of motion back. And I mean, once I really got my confidence, I feel like everything else just fell into place. That was the hardest part, just being able to know you can still make the same cuts that you did before you got hurt. You can still jump and land and you'll be all right. Just little things like that. I feel like that's what was really slowing me down, just being scared that something might happen again. So once the confidence came back fully, I feel like everything else just came back on its own.
You talked about a time, Javonte, where you wondered whether or not it might be over for you and that you wouldn't be able to get back to where you needed to be. Why did you feel that way, and what changed?
I think it's human nature. Just when you keep going out and you're not doing the same stuff that you know you used to do or you could do before, and the things that you used to do not working anymore, so you kind of get down on yourself. But that's when I really had to dive into the playbook, watch film, like actually understand the blocking scheme. Like, oh, they're trying to get to this linebacker, so maybe if you stay on this side a little bit longer to help the O-line out. Just little things like that. You can't just rely on talent anymore at this level. I feel like it's more of having a plan and being able to understand the scheme and help your teammates.
Was there a moment for you, a play, where you felt like, I'm back?
Yeah, I think it happened in training camp. I had like a inside zone play, and I kind of bounced it, and I did like a little dead leg move. I was like, oh, I can still do it. Like, I'm good now. I feel good. And then just the coaches having confidence, just telling me like you can do whatever you want. I mean, just seeing CeeDee and GP every day at practice making plays. I'm like, I still got it too. I can do the same thing they doing. So, I mean, just seeing everybody else around me making plays and having that confidence and talent, I feel like it really just brought it back out of me.
That's got to be such a great feeling, feeling like, oh, I got it, I'm back. Because at the end of the day, Jay, like only you really and maybe a few people around you know how much work you've put in since the injury and before. There's just not a lot of people that see that, the day-in struggle of being a pro athlete. And the running back position is incredibly physically demanding. So I wonder for you, like how gratifying it is feeling that and knowing like I'm back and I'm okay, I'm good.
Yeah, like you can't really explain the feeling. It's just like no matter what you do, you feel like everything just going right. So yeah, just and then you just sit back and think of like where you really came back from and how far you came and the success that you having now. I mean, like I really can't even put it into words. I'm just blessed.
Did you know how good GP and CeeDee were beforehand?
I knew how good CeeDee was, but GP, nah, I didn't. Like I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was that good. Then I seen him like the first 3 days of training camp. I'm like, oh yeah, he finna be a problem.
Wow,
he finna be a problem.
Just
yeah,
because the how talent, like all the plays and his speed, just everything.
Like I was telling my coach the other day, I was like, you could always spot like an elite receiver just by the way they move and like how they get in and out of routes. It's just something about like the body type that they got. So I mean, and then GP, I mean, I feel like he like a taller version of CeeDee. I feel like they complement each other well. Both of them make plays. So I mean, good luck to the defenses.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy to watch how much they fed off one another, and then you and Dak. I mean, this offense. I've been saying it the last month or so. It was great, and it just feels like it's getting better, and it's trending upward more and more. When you think about the last month or so of the season, are you setting more individual goals? Are you not a goal setter? Just for you personally, how does that work?
I mean, I always wanted 1,000 yards in the NFL, so I mean that's my goal every year. But as far as like personal goals, nah, because I know every week it's gonna be the same thing, just a different faces. So really, I just be trying to make sure I execute and do what I got to do. I know that as long as I make my plays and don't have any mistakes or anything like that, I'm gonna have a pretty good game.
What has changed, Jay, over the last few weeks? You talked about some of the camaraderie. It just feels to me like it's a great place to be right now. Really good vibes.
Yeah, for sure. It was like that the day I stepped into the building. I was like, okay, yeah, this for like college. It really feel like a college atmosphere. And then us going to California and being in like the little dorm room.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody hanging out with each other. We hang out the field. So yeah, it's a good spot to be in right now. I feel like we starting to buy in. Everybody got that confidence, that swagger. Really coming back against the Eagles, I feel like that helped us a lot too. Just coming back against a team like that, defending Super Bowl champs, and then coming back and beating the Chiefs. I mean, it got us a little bit high right now, but I mean, we still got to stay on the same course, stay the same page, and keep executing.
I mentioned earlier Pickens. What's it like to see him go full GP mode during a game?
Hey, you don't never know what you're gonna get. It's just like you just gotta watch it. It's the same way y'all watching on TV is us watching on the field. We know it's gonna be a show. Cause I mean he unpredictable. He a different type of person. But I mean we all understand him. We know where he at. And we know he gonna make plays on Sundays. So
who's the biggest trash talker on the team?
I might have to go Joe Milton. Yeah.
Joe Milton.
Joe. For sure. Definitely on game day. He just got the diamonds in his teeth too, so he ain't gonna stop smiling.
That gives him more incentive, right? To keep
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I saw you went to the rodeo. How have you adjusted to like Texas lifestyle?
Oh no, that's right up my alley. Horses, cowboys, just being outside, animals, cows, everything. Like that's all I grew up on. So I mean, I feel right at home.
What are the similarities between a Texas rodeo and a cowboy game?
I mean, they take both of them serious. They take it real serious. It's probably some of the most serious fans I've ever been around. But I mean, just the atmosphere. It's always gonna be loud, exciting, a lot of yelling, a lot of cowboy hats.
When you go back to Wallace, what do people say? How are you treated going back home? I'm
treated pretty good. I mean, I'm still the same type of person, whether I'm in Texas or North Carolina. Like, I don't really be outside too much or talk a lot. But, I mean, I get a lot of respect. People understand, like, what I got to do and go through to get the position I am, like the hard work and stuff that you were saying. They seen it since I was growing up. So, I mean, it's all love, and they know it's all love for me, for my city and my community. But, yeah, I mean, it's a good atmosphere.
When you're having this type of success, how does having a small town atmosphere, small town upbringing, those values, how does that keep you grounded, Javonte?
I feel like it plays a huge part. Like I said, just never really, I'm not going to say being that social, but not really being outside and getting into a lot of things. Like, you know, when you have success on the field, everything start coming at you, different people, different things like that. So just having those rules and morals, just know who you're talking to, don't talk to strangers or things like don't accept things from people. Those values and lessons go with you throughout life.
I would love to learn, and I think everyone would, more about the Javonte Williams Foundation, how it started, and what you're planning on doing with it.
It targets like foster families. I actually have a foster sister, so that's where the idea came from. And growing up, my grandma had a daycare, so just seeing like different family situations and things like that, I know how hard it can be when a child has to go to a foster system and has to go to a whole another family. Some families don't do what they're supposed to or treat them the right way. So, I mean, if that can be avoided, I want to at least try to help out.
When did you create the foundation?
2022. So this is the 3rd year.
So this is something you want to continue doing throughout your career, post-career?
Yeah, this is just not stopping with football. This is something that I always had in my heart. I feel like my family love kids. They always try to help other families out that can't afford things or anything like that. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going to always try to help people out any way I can.
Have you noticed more and more people recognizing you?
Yeah, definitely in Texas. Yeah, people be noticing me everywhere I go. I'm like, dang, I didn't even think they'll know me just coming in here. But now I got to dress up every time I walk out the house because I don't know who might see me.
Yes. Who's going to see? Yeah, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe Javonte Williams' drip?
Oh, yeah, 10 out of 10. I'm going to put it on for sure. And I don't need a stylist.
Top 5 best drip on the team.
I'll go 1, probably CeeDee. 2, I'll go Trey, Diggs. 3, I'll go Dono, the rookie, Izaraku. 4, probably Dak, because his suits do be clean. I'm not a suit guy. If I was a suit guy, Dak would be number 1. So I'll put Dak at 4. He do be clean with the suits. And 5, I'm going to probably go Kenny Clark.
That's a great list. I'm wondering how Shoddy, where does he come in?
I don't be seeing Shoddy walk in, though, so I don't know what he be wearing. Yeah, he already be there once I get there.
Well, Javonte, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm so happy for you. It's so well deserved. I know it's only the beginning. Arrow's pointing firmly up, and always in your corner. And just thank you again for coming on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Always a pleasure.
And now for our weekly bets presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. As always, I have not seen these, and I'm going to pick one of the two. We got Colts -2 at Jags or Dolphins -3 at Jets. I'm going to go with the Colts. This is a really tough game, though, because I'm very bullish on both these teams, but I just don't see Indy losing 3 straight. There is a scenario in which they win and don't cover, but I am going to take the Colts. One more week healthier, hopefully, of Daniel Jones. Broncos -7.5 at the Raiders or the Steelers +6 at the Ravens. I'm going to go with the Broncos. Pittsburgh to me last week was really disappointing. Mike Tomlin really said it best that they were nowhere near good enough. And Baltimore's coming off a loss, so I can't back Pittsburgh. Denver, meanwhile, is the 1 seed in the AFC, and I can't confidently back anything that Pete Carroll is a part of right now. And then finally, we got the Bears +6.5 at Green Bay. We got Arizona +7.5 versus the Rams. I'm going to take the Bears. They have been as hot as anyone. I realize Green Bay comes off a massive win at Detroit. Jordan Love has 4 touchdowns. But when I looked at this line, I said this on my show with Draymond Monday night, I thought this was like maybe 4, somewhere in that vicinity. Just way too many points for a very pivotal divisional game. So I'm going to take the points, Chicago +6.5. And that's it for episode 14 of the Schultz Report. Big thank you to Keyshawn Johnson and Javonte Williams for joining me. And thank you, of course, for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you this weekend.